Hi, and welcome to the training on the emotions behind creating a business. A lot of business structures out there talk about, the setup, the specifics, what kind of structures that you need, but it's the one that is the most challenging of the lot is often the emotions behind it, followed by the mindset and then the structure. Structure is the easiest lot to solve. But emotions, right, is the hardest of it all. So today I would love to have this training, especially created for my private clients. But if you are non-private client and you're watching this, I do have like a special treat for you to watch till the end of the video. If this is what you've been thinking of, creating a business, then I'll be so glad to actually introduce you to the emotional cycle behind it, because if after you watch it and you feel excited and you feel that, hey, I think this is meant for me, then yes, jump on board onto creating a business. Whether you work with me or whether you find your own resources, that doesn't matter. But most importantly is to get you going. All right, so let's get started on the training. So if you're watching me for the very first time, I would love to introduce myself, that my name is Yep, I'd love to introduce myself. My name is Lydia Nah. I am the founder of Lydia Nah Coaching, and I have 8 years ongoing financial advisors experience. So I have been in a self-employed lifestyle since I was 24. Right, and I have 8 years of financial advisors experience and growing, and I created another income stream, aka coaching, in Q3 2021. And the main reason why I decided to create another source of income was because I wanted to create a whole new lifestyle. Of course, I was already experiencing a lot of freedom, but if you get to know me on a personal level, I definitely share with you more about why I actually decided to go into coaching. It was primarily because of time management, and I wanted to have higher income, yet at the same time I don't want to be exchanging it for hours in the terms of insurance sales. So I already had a family, I have a beautiful son, handsome son, and I would love to really enjoy everything that life has to offer. So if you're intending on creating another source of income, this would be the perfect opportunity, especially if you love to have family and downtime for yourself, because time is more important than money. Right? We can always increase the value of hour per hour, but we cannot increase the value of hour per dollar. So at the end of the day, it's for people who are tired of active hustling, especially if you have been in the corporate world and you have been thinking about setting up a business, creating that passion, that desire of yours that is so that really lights up your heart, that really when you actually go out there and you teach people and you change people's lives, that is called freedom money. That is money that comes to you in the form of divine compensation. And when it gets surged into your life, it gives you a whole new energy for you to keep giving out more. This is the power of passionate business, and it is the sole foundation of what I talk about. I'm not in this business to just create a business out of nowhere. I make it my primary focus to actually get my clients really clear on their messaging, or what is their desired gift, their unique gift, their skill set as well. It's not about just creating a business so you can make money out of it. If you are still in that stage and you haven't found that calling, then you probably need some time to search around. I want to actually help those who already have felt that fire, that passion, that pain. They can't sleep at night because they know that someone out there needs the help. That pain is what I'm looking for to help you. So again, my business structure focuses on, later on I'll talk about it, on a beautiful blend of feminine intuition together with the masculine structure, because only when the men and the women combine together, later on I'll talk about energy, a little bit of energy, you'll be able to understand that that's the most beautiful creation is created. So for me, my ambition is to be the leading vision of a CEO mom who has it all. I call myself the CEO mom's coach. You have time, money, business, family, kids, everything that you ever desire. Okay. So why talk about emotions in a business? Yeah, I realized that this is a very rare talked about, because a lot of business structures out there keep like talking about structure, you need landing page, website, blah, 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 blah. But a lot of them don't talk about the emotional management, or rather, like if you're feeling the rejection, if you're feeling that desperation for clients, but you don't see anything going on, how do you handle that, right? And what they talk about is just stuff it down, stuff it down. And I was from that place. I was from that place when I had a business and all I taught myself was to just stuff it down, until to the point that I felt like it didn't work anymore. Okay, it didn't work anymore in the sense that it wasn't creating that sustainable effect that I wanted. It wasn't making me feel fulfilled. And I knew that there must be a better way of doing it. The point of expiration is always the point of transformation. And it's when you take up that calling to change, to create something new, something that you have never seen before, then that is when you're stepping into that creation zone, into creating that next reality that you desire. So setting up a second business is not just a challenge in terms of mindset and hard skills. It's a 360-degree transformation in and out. You're outdoing your past, your beliefs, your thoughts, and your always are all being dug out and revisited all over again. So sometimes when my clients go through with me that program, we spend easily a big bulk of the time clearing out and decluttering a lot before they embark on the next chapter. And then that's when they can start creating their business, because the new you cannot come in if the old you doesn't exist. So I have this acronym of LIFE. What does LIFE stands for? L stands for limiting beliefs. What are the limiting beliefs that you impose on yourself, that you have taken from society, that stops you from moving forward? You know, it can be women are meant to be paid less, women are meant to stay at home, right? Or if I want to create a business, if I want to have a passionate business, I can't make money out of it. That's a limiting belief. I stands for inner child, because a lot of the way that we behave is a lot from needing that sense of safety, that people pleasing, that we kept carrying on and craving for that affirmation and that validation from the people around us when we were kids. Right? For those who are mothers, you would completely understand with what I'm saying, because you know that when your kid is from the age of 0 to 7 years old, they are a blank piece of paper. Whatever you tell them is what they're going to be imprinted on. F stands for fear. What is the fear that's holding you back? Fear actually stands for false evidence appearing real. It gets so big in your head, and that is what our brain is for. It's meant to create a whole new reality and these like crazy dreams and crazy vision that stops you from stepping to the next version. Because why? Because your body knows that that next version is the biggest transformation. So when you have fear, right? You have fear of being seen. You have fear of people rejecting you. Are you gonna skirt around it, or you're just gonna look at it in the eye, tackle it, and know that every time you go through it, you're coming out as a better version until to the point where it doesn't trigger you anymore. That's what I mean by always are being dug out and revisited. And the last one is E, is the emotions. Right? That's why today I would love to talk about emotions in a second business, or emotions in creating a business. For some of you, you are carrying a full-time job and you so desperately and desire to have something that lights up your life. Nothing can be more emotionally fueling than being so passionate in a business. And I can tell you that because when I stepped out of corporate, in fact, my first job was a corporate job for 1.5 hours. I was in an advertising agency. But then afterwards, I decided to step out and go into self-employed. And now I'm entirely creating my own product. I'm creating my own product. I'm being that face, you know. So knowing how to tackle LIFE is key if you want to stay on to the end of creating a second business, whatever line it may be. Whatever line, whether is it a multi-level marketing, whether is it going into real estate, going into property, going into insurance, or most passionately it is to create your whole new product. Some of my clients are actually wanting to create a coaching service. So that's intangible. And by intangible outcomes, you can look at it as it's so hard to measure, but on the other hand, it is transformative. So there are 3 groups of people when they want to talk about having a business. Number 1, those who taste the water and try. So they dip their feet into the water, they have a little bit of the investment and they see how it goes. They go for cheap investment and they say, oh, let me look at the results. If there's anything that doesn't happen, I always have my full-time job to turn back on. That's the first bunch of people. Second, those who celebrate others' wealth on the side. And I get so much of it. Okay, I get so much of it on my Instagram. People, oh, you know, you have done this, you have done that. And I see the potential in them because I am a CEO mom coach. I see the potential that people can do with their talent, with their gift. Okay, it is the calling on them, whether they want to step it up or not. And lastly, those who just rule out being a boss on their own because they're so driven by fear, they're so driven by insecurities and the need for attachment, the need for validation, need for affirmation. Those are the ones who will never ever step out to being a boss on their own. So the power of the brain. As humans, our brains are wired for herd culture. And what is herd culture? It's called monkey see, monkey do. Basically, it's when people are in a community culture, when there is, like, for example, you think about COVID. COVID is a fear culture, right? Sometimes that fear can be so big in you that you end up creating a self-fulfilling prophecy, that you really end up, getting COVID, and you tell yourself that, oh, you know, I deserve this, blah, blah, it's a punishment, blah, blah. That is why our brains are wired for herd culture. Anything that is out of the norm is seen as a danger, is seen as a threat, and is seen as a sign of possibility of being killed. So this is how powerful our brain is. When we are at the I stage, you know, that's when somebody is so resistant. Have you ever thought about why there are some people that you have said about the same thing 1,000 times, but they don't seem to get it? Right? Why? Is because their brain are so caught up in resisting. They are so caught up in survival living that they basically is to protect you from danger. So that's why whenever there is something exciting, there is something new, there is something permanent that's going to change your life, your brain is going to signal out all the fears and flash out all the impossibilities. Clients not signing up with you, you're feeling your business, you seeing $0 in your bank account, you basically feeling in life and having the worst time ever. Because it's trying its ultimate best to save you. It will persuade you to never step out of your comfort zone. Again, anyone who stands out, be different, is being seen as a threat, you know, they will be killed and they will be in danger. Right? So when you actually go from the stage of I, okay, all the way to we, is when there it becomes a co-creator. A co-creator, on the other end, is somebody who's very intuitive, somebody who tunes into the higher universe. So they actually have rituals in place to connect themselves with God, to connect themselves with Buddha, with Jesus, and they have complete trust in the universe that they know that whatever that is meant for them to download as a vision will be served to them at its aligned timing. How different it is when you see the I versus the we, right? It's a very common and a very easy way to just go on to the I, to the resistant. So whatever that we are doing into stepping out of our comfort zone to creating a second income stream, if we are doing is going against our very basic human nature, right? Which is why is the question, why do we do it? Because number one, we no longer want to survive, we want to thrive. We want to experience all the life experiences that life has to offer. You know, creation, being complete, in having complete freedom from within, liberated from society's thinking, you know, people pleasing, validation from the outside. Right? When we can have the emotional freedom, that's when we're really stepping into abundant living. We be the creator and we own our own lives. We have everything that we desire. Okay, and that if there anything that we desire, there is no such thing as a no, everything is a yes. And we be that model that our children look up to lead the best life in our communities and lead others into it. It's when we step up to being a leader, right? Just when my clients who come to me, they want to lead other people into the life that they're having. They feel the pain that they were from, and they want people to no longer feel that pain that they were in. So that's why they want to lead people. But being a leader also requires a different form of energy. It's not just taking on clients and earning income. It's about creating the embodiment, the way you think, the way you live, the way you act. How do you go around it? So the basis of creation of what we are doing is having a beautiful blend of masculine and feminine energy. I get the mistaken idea that people, when they look at me, they think I'm very masculine. They think I'm all about sales and numbers. Granted that is the general persona of who I am. Very confident, I'm very outspoken, I speak really clearly, and that is the signs of a very masculine nature. However, what people don't see and what I develop in the later part and on the inner layer is the feminine energy, the feminine living in a masculine world. How do you come around that? Feminine living is about intuitive, it's about being receptive, it's about taking inspired action, actions that you see in your vision and making them a reality, because you trust that if you can have that download, it's gonna create in reality. You have that feeling and that knowing that things are always working. You're talking about collaborative creation, collaborating with the universe, creating with God. On the other hand, masculine is about discipline, it's about acting, it's about doing. Steering on either side, whether you want to set up a business, you can't set it out on feminine energy alone. Because relying on feminine energy alone, number one, it won't get you the results. It won't give you that clarity. It won't give you that clients that you want, that transformation. You will see the results. And some people, they are so happy being a feminine because that they think to them, that is what they think that is feminine energy to them. If I'm in feminine living, I'm being spiritual, I'm being woo-woo, I'm being God-led, but they have no structure. So time and time again, they keep trying and trying and trying, and they feel lost because they don't have that clarity that only masculine energy can give. On the other hand, you have that masculine energy who's all about doing, who's all about pushing, who's all about trying new methods, but they feel exhausted. Why? It's because they don't have that connection, they don't have that intuition, they don't have that knowing, and they want to control everything in their hands. So you see, everything in a masculine world and everything in a feminine world cannot function alone. That's why men and women are meant to be with each other. There is no such thing as a woman standing on her own, and there's no such thing as a man standing on her own. And that is why when we can come to the basis of creation, balanced integration is when synthesis, co-creation, collaboration, supportive, spacious, intentional happens. The union of the feminine and masculine energy, especially when you apply into a business, is the basis of all creation. That's when everything can come out in a flow, because whatever that the divine feminine desires, the divine masculine steps up to it. In my other training where I talk about magical miracle money, I emphasize a lot about the divine masculine stepping up for the divine feminine. And everything in this world can be genderized, whether it's a male or a female. For example, a female is vision, intuition, thought, thinking. The masculine is the action, the doing, time, money, men, relationships, right? Or relationships, intuitive, yes. Okay, so in everything, there is always a 1 + 1 = 2. We cannot talk about creating a business that's entirely on feminine, spiritual, woo-woo, self-care without the structure. But we also cannot talk about a business that relies entirely on making money, being profitable, but not being guided by intuition and not being guided by alignment. So the emotions of